Hello, welcome back to What's the Flux Commuter Dispatches. You just heard recordings from a full day at 5 of the busiest bus stops in the region. So at the end of the day, what did we learn? A takeaway that emerged pretty quickly was the difference in commute times, depending on the bus stop. On average, folks commuting from the Eastgate Park and Ride on the east side and the Federal Way Transit Center on the south end have much longer commutes than those commuting from the Northgate Park and Ride on the north end. Here are commute times we gathered from Northgate.
I'm in the Broadview neighborhood.
Where are you headed today?
Downtown. It's about 35 minutes.
15-minute bus ride and about a 5-minute walk to work.
I come to the park and ride, and then I go down to 5th Avenue, the Columbia Tower. It's about 10 minutes without traffic, so it's a lot easier than trying to park.
Typically it's about 30 minutes.
If I catch the bus right away, probably about 30 minutes.
It takes me about 10 minutes to get here from my house, and then it's about another 15 minutes to downtown.
And here are commute times we gathered from Eastgate and Federal Way.
Oh, it's usually around like an hour and a half, 4 or 5 times a week.
Started today from UW in Seattle. I'm headed down to Renton. It's usually about an hour and a half.
My commute started in Maple Valley to downtown Renton Transit Center to here, to Bellevue College. It's like 3 hours.
I came from downtown Seattle, going to work in Federal Way. It takes about an hour and 45 minutes in the morning. It takes about 2 hours at night.
So, as most can imagine, such long waits require access to a restroom. An unexpected pattern we found was that many wanted to talk about bathrooms, or the lack thereof. For those who might have long waits at the bus stop, it's a pretty important issue that many feel needs more investment.
With my grandson, during the waiting time for the bus, you need to find a bathroom, so there's a definite need for a bathroom here. We couldn't find any, so we did twice up there. This is not to be recorded.
Producer Bree Ripley explored the restroom at the Tequila stop.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
I was told that I need tokens to use the bathroom.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so can you tell me why?
It's because they want us to basically keep an eye on who goes in and out. That way we know who's going in and out and how long they've been in there.
Okay. Just to ask.
So,
and somebody's always here.
there's actually 2 people here 24 hours a day.
So where's the bathroom?
Oh, it's back there and to the right.
Okay. How often do people approach you? Do they know to get tokens from you?
Well, there's a sign on the door that says to talk to security to get the token to get access to it. And I probably hand out a couple of hundred tokens a night. I mean, during the day we have just by volume way more people coming through here. At night we get a lot of people who just ride the bus to have somewhere to sleep. And this is the only place on the bus line that has a bathroom. So basically they all use it here.
All right, I'm about to use the bathroom at the Tequila transit station. And on the door it says door opens with token only. Request token from Sound Transit Security, which we acquired. I'm going to use this. All right, so in the women's bathroom of the Tequila light rail station, I would say it's kind of like a rest stop bathroom that you would go into on a road trip. There's a baby changing table that's typical to women's bathrooms. We got a hand drying station, and there is a Mickey Mouse diaper in the sink. So the stall situation, it's pretty much a mess in here. There's like a bunch of paper everywhere, a couple pamphlets. There's a pamphlet for Metro. Well, we at least have toilet paper. It's pretty good. All right, I'm turning this off. I gotta pee.
Unfortunately, another pattern to emerge quickly was how many incidents happen on buses. From sexual harassment to racial profiling, bus riders have seen it all.
What's the hardest thing about riding the bus?
Walking to the bus stop and the times.
and it's hard here because sometimes I get here late and the bus is done running because of the traffic.
What's one thing that has ever happened on the bus that was out of your control?
Fights. Guys fighting on the bus and won't stop when they're asked. It's kind of scary because you don't know what's going to happen or what they might pull out. Yeah, it's kind of scary riding the bus alone.
Producer Jenny Fung experienced some early morning harassment while recording downtown. We recorded using the buddy system, so along with producer Randy Salgado, she at least had safety in numbers.
This is Jenny Fang at Pike and 4th. Checking in really quick. You know how people get catcalls? Yeah, I just got a dance. Yeah, I don't know. Just thought I would share. This is Jenny Fang. We're taking a walk around the block because the guy who danced at me is still there and kind of wandering around us. So we're going for a little bit and we're going to come back in a couple minutes.
One of the biggest takeaways across the board was concern over equity and access to the bus, its frequency, stop location, and maintenance between neighborhoods closer to the city center versus those who lived farther out.
I would just want better access to buses for those of us who live farther south or towards the city and county line. It's rough. My buses end pretty early that are close to my place. If I miss a bus, I'm waiting another 30 minutes for another one to show up, even in the middle of the day or when I'm trying to get to work or something in the morning. I wish there was just more consideration for those of us who've been pushed out from like the center of the city and live out towards the outskirts.
The farther away you get from Seattle, the less efficient the bus systems are in terms of where they can go, how often they run, the times during the day. So for example, I used to live in Kent. There used to be an express bus that would take me straight to Bellevue from my hometown. This would take about the same amount of time, about 40 minutes, but it doesn't run on the weekends. Metro system designed primarily around people who commute to work. I feel like it caters more towards that and less towards people just trying to get around in general.
The bus system has been getting smaller and smaller, and I've lived in Seattle for 3 years now, and like gradually they've collapsed each bus line until there's only like a few that I can take, and they take longer and longer. I intervened on a domestic dispute. I literally asked the transit enforcers for help, and they told me just to get on the bus and it would be fine. And there was another transit enforcer that was on there, and I was like, can you help this girl? And he was like, actually, the next stop is my stop to get off. I don't feel like there's anyone out here like looking after me. What are the transit police doing besides enforcing young persons of color like off the bus? I don't feel like they're there for my safety.
With changes to our region's demographic and the anticipated changes to our transit system, we hope our transit agencies will listen to the needs and concerns of the riders using their services day in and day out. Visit metro.kingcounty.gov or soundtransit.org for ways to contact and engage. Not everything about the bus is negative. There's also something magical about the spontaneous and temporary community people find from riding the bus. We didn't have to ask around too much before folks started talking about bus friends and shared heartwarming experiences. Whether we like it or not, the bus is a daily necessity for many. It's a lifeline, and most folks make the best of the time they spend on it.
Someone doesn't have much money or doesn't have the correct change to ride the bus, it's like almost always that someone else will pay for them.
I've had somebody come up to me, try to fight me. I didn't know, thought I was somebody else. I've had good luck. Somebody came and gave me a bouquet of flowers once. I have nice things happen a lot. You know, I get to sit and talk to people a lot, meet different people. So I think that's one of the best things.
month ago, I was on the bus, and this guy, he looked a little down on his luck. I gave him a few bucks. It was only to find out he had recently been let go as a teacher and had a lung disease and was pretty much fighting for his life. Told me about how many kids he had educated and people manifesting their past to you, and you never knew this just by looking at you, but we all fall down on our luck sometimes. Nobody ever wakes up and plans on being homeless.
Last year, I was sitting towards the back of a bus, and there was 3 young women sitting there. It's pretty much just them and me and a few other people. And they were making really pretty funny comments about people as they came in, like a famous person they looked like. And then it turned a little dark, and they were starting to be a little racist. And this one other young woman, they said something, can't remember what, but it was definitely a cut on her race. And she looked and obviously felt bad and sat pretty far away. And then I decided to just talk to them about it. I said, you guys are so smart and so funny, but it's turned a little dark, and I think you hurt that girl's feelings. And then they tried to, like, diss me. And I was like, well, it's not going to work on me. I just want to get the point across that you are really smart and funny. And then they complained a little more to me, like, well, it's none of your business, da-da-da. I said, well, it is, because I'm sitting here and we're all part of a community, and you become part of it by getting on this bus. And by the end, they thanked me.
There was an incident where a gentleman started having a heart attack, and everybody rallied around to try to help him out. It gave me a sense of, I guess, some hope again, faith in humanity. Honestly, there was a time I just put in my headphones and just mind my own business, but then now I've started to talk to people. I think we get caught up in society and staying in our own little worlds, and then once you start branching back out and opening yourself up and being vulnerable with people, you start learning a lot more and learn more about yourself, I guess.
That was one day at the busiest bus stops in the Seattle area. Huge thanks to the many field producers who waited at bus stops to record what you heard today. Carl Benitez, Mimansa Dogra, Kendra Hanna, David Joseph, Farisha Khan, Yuko Kodama, Casey Martin, Hassan Noor, Jenny Fang, Trevor Pogue, Bree Ripley, Chaitanya Robinson, and Randy Salgado. This story was edited by Yuko Kodama. Follow along with What's the Flux Commuter Dispatches on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at KBCS with the hashtag WTFlux. I'm Mona Ye.
What's the Flux Commuter Dispatches brought to you by 91.3 KBCS and Finding America, a national initiative produced by AIR, the Association of Independents in Radio Incorporated. Financial support provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the Wincote Foundation, the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, and the National Endowment for the Arts.